Do you have your do not disturb sign on in relationship? This one's a tricky one because it's like a snake in the grass. It's subtle. What does it mean? Well, are you hyper controlling in relationship? Do you feel unsafe? Are you blocking people out? Are you living from childhood pain? Are you wanting to be in relationship because it's maybe the cool thing to do, or your heart desires to be in intimacy, or there's a part of your being that knows that being in relationship is going to help you grow, is going to help you be a better person, is going to help you heal, because we heal in relationships, but you've got your do not disturb sign on. In other words, you're wearing the masks. You've armored your heart. Men do this exceptionally well. We're not really taught how to emote. We are told that we have to suppress the uncomfortable feelings that we have, the abuse, the trauma. We're told we're told and shown in different ways that we're weak if we've experienced trauma or abuse, and we should just deal with it and toughen up. And that becomes a very heavy backpack. It becomes a very, very heavy burden that we carry. And so what we will do is we will armor our hearts, and we will try and control the situation to feel safe. That means we may manipulate people. This isn't just men, by the way. This is people in general. We may want to oppress people, exert our authority and power, be subjugating to people, to our partners. Make sure that they know who's boss, because we feel unsafe. And so we want to be in relationship, but the do not disturb sign is on. You can't enter here. Intimacy doesn't exist here. Closeness, vulnerability, out the window, done. No way. Because getting close means that you may see the real me. You may judge me. You may ridicule me. You may humiliate me. You may reject me. You may abandon me. You may leave me. I may lose you. You may hurt me. And so the do not disturb sign is on, but you're in relationship. You're sending a confusing message, a very confusing message. Your partner picks up on that. Now they don't feel safe to be vulnerable. So you're both unsafe. You both probably have old childhood wounds being triggered. You are probably coming from a unresolved, wounded place, whether it's a previous relationship, whether it's bullying from high school, whether it's abuse or neglect or abandonment from your parents. Whatever it may be that is unresolved within you, that blank look, that do not disturb sign is on, particularly during intimacy. You can only engage in a certain type of intimacy. Over the years, you've learned that maybe this particular type of sex is where I can perceive myself to be intimate. Therefore, I'm ticking the box, I'm in the relationship, but really I'm keeping the person at an arm's length or distance. That distance, is that you? Is that you keeping that person away? Does any of this sound familiar to you? In previous relationships, when you look back at your relationship patterns, have you been holding back? Have you wanted to say the thing that you wanted to say that could have brought you closer, but you were scared of what their response would be? Have you wanted to say, I love you, I care for you, but you don't, you withhold your love because what if they don't reciprocate it? Have you attempted maybe to show that you're tougher than what you are? Not show the emotion when something has happened to you that has caused pain. Maybe a conflict at work, maybe a disagreement with your parents, but you pretend it doesn't matter. That's you with your do not disturb sign on. That's you shutting your partner out. That's you not being real and vulnerable. That's you not sharing. So the next logical question to ask is, well, how? How do we remove or take down that do not disturb sign and put that green light on for intimacy, for our partners entering our lives and entering our hearts? Well, we have to do that inner work. And sometimes we can't see the forest through the trees. I say this often. We can't see our own stuff because we're stuck in it. That's at least been very much my experience. And generally, I'm a coach in this space, so People come to me for that new perspective, for a different perspective. I go to people, to coaches, to mentors, to spiritual guides, to counselors, therapists, whatever it may be, for that alternative perspective, to help me see what I cannot see. If I notice a pattern of suffering or pain in my life, repetitive pattern of that, under very similar circumstances, I want to take action on doing something about that. I want to be able to understand and connect to that, to feel what's really happening there, to not block out or stop myself from really truly experiencing. I want to go down that place. I want to go down that rabbit hole. I want to remove that do not disturb sign. I want to feel a letting go, a releasing, a surrendering, a softening in this, where I don't have this urge to be hyper protective, to be defensive, to attack the other person, to make me feel safe, to make me feel better. I used to do that. I used to hurt other people in order to feel safe because I was so hurt. These aren't justifications or excuses. This is simply an understanding of human behavior, of what we can do as humans when we feel unsafe, when we feel unsettled. That do not disturb sign will be on. We will block people out. We will not show ourselves. We will not share ourselves. And then we complain. We wonder, why isn't that person sharing with us? Why isn't our partner fully opening up to us? Why can't they communicate to us? But are we communicating with them? Are we sharing fully the issues that we're seeing or experiencing in the relationship? Or are you holding that down? Are you suppressing that because you don't want to upset them maybe? That's a do not disturb sign. That's you breaking intimacy. Are you annoyed at your partner with everything they do? Are you projecting your own shame and anger that you have towards yourself on your partner? That's a do not disturb sign. That is, you are not entering in here. You cannot come into my heart space. We've got to feel to experience freedom. We've got to move through our pain and our fears in order to experience true freedom. That sense of, I can actually be me. We have to surround ourselves with people that we trust, respect, and revere, that can reciprocate to us who we're being in a non-judgmental, compassionate way, to help us feel safe enough to actually be ourselves, to fully be expressed in relationship. That's helpful. That's useful. That's empowering. And so that do not disturb sign, it keeps people out. The conscious parts of us, where we want to date, we want to be in intimacy, we want a partner, we want to share our lives with someone or people, whatever it may be. We want to be close with people. But the unconscious parts of us that are carrying unresolved wounds and unresolved pain and trauma and fear of being seen, fear of connecting, fear of intimacy, fear of loss, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of humiliation. Those parts of us are stronger than those conscious parts, and they are going to constantly push away, and you're in this push-pull. You're in a tug-of-war, an internal tug-of-war, and it's confusing for you and for them. But when you do your inner work, when you start to free yourself somatically in the body, not only mentally, cognitively, emotionally, your whole world changes. That's powerful. Your relationship dynamics change. You start to attract healthier interactions, more open-hearted interactions. You start to dip your toe in the water of, let me just express this and see how they respond. And all of a sudden, they're responding with empathy, love, curiosity, because they feel safe. Curiosity is only and can only be alive in a relationship when you feel safe. That's interesting. Curiosity. Where can you practice curiosity in your life and in your relationships to help excavate that stuff that needs to be released? Not to release it or project it on your partner, because that's not healthy, but to have a safe space where you can work through this stuff. Again, a coach, a therapist, a healer, a shaman, a support group. Don't do this alone. But if you keep bringing your old pain into the relationship, you're just going to experience old patterns of being. That's going to be very limiting for you. You're going to experience the same kind of relationship over and over again. Power and blessings to you. I'll see you soon.